Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Witches and Wine. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Lola Stardust. And this show is where we talk about witchy stuff and we drink wine. Clink and drink.
Clink and drink.
Clink and drink. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, wow, that's yummy. That's really good. So before we get to the meat of our show, I want to turn this over to Silenus, and we will talk about the wine that we're drinking this episode. Take it away.
Hi, I will, honey. Thank you. So tonight, guys, I chose an Olema Cabernet. It's out of the Sonoma County region in California. Really, really full-bodied, dark Cabernet. It's got some mocha, some currant, and a little bit of espresso that comes through, and a little bit of cedar, which is pretty nice. Nice little change up on a Cabernet. This bottle runs you between $30 and $40. So not an everyday wine, but this is an everyday episode. It's our 20th episode, so we're here to answer some questions tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and sit back for a second and let Lola get her book of questions out that people sent in.
Yeah.
And we're going to start answering away. And we have Islene, so we're doing 3 people on camera tonight.
It's a threesome.
Well, I don't know about that, but
we can take off our shoes. Take off your shoes.
So your kids are in the bowl, right?
Woo! All right, so this is our thank you, sweetie, and the wine is Excelente. So tonight is our 20th episode. I know that may not be a big deal to some people out there in YouTube land that have like 500, 600 episodes, but to us, it's awesome. So we decided we wanted to answer 20 questions. We put out on Facebook to our followers and our fans and whatnot, friends, ask us a question, and it could be pretty much about anything. Paganism, Wicca, our Coven, wine. We got a really good variety of questions, and we actually have more than 20. So we have about 23, isn't it?
Yeah,
23.
So why don't we get this show on the road? And I'm going to open up this beautiful book.
The book of 20 plus questions.
The book of 20 plus questions.
And sparklies.
And sparklies. Sparkles. So, our first couple questions are from Lord Dusty Dion. Hi, Dusty.
Hey, Dusty.
What's up?
We appreciate the questions. Thank you.
The first question is, I heard you all were growing hops for Spring Mysteries Festival Ale Sacrifice. What inspired you to take on that project? Well, first of all, our Spring Mysteries we've talked about before is put on by the ATC, and it is a recreation of the Eleusinian Mysteries and the story of Persephone and Demeter and that mythos. Why don't you answer this question? Yep. Because you are the hops man, and you can tell about our hops we have in our backyard, and what made you want to do this for the Spring Mysteries?
Well, we've been growing hops for a few years now. You have to grow hops for 3+ years before you get a yield. But we've been doing it for almost 10 years now. And we have never really done much with them. We grow them. They're beautiful. We love the smell of them. We've never really used them for brewing because we're lazy and we're dumb.
We're not lazy and dumb. We just don't know anyone yet that can put them to a good use.
Okay. Well, you do, but so far we haven't gotten that to line up yet.
Her husband.
So,
yeah.
And you've seen him as a guest on here. He talked about some of the Nordic stuff, and he's been in the studio audience numerous times. But the reason I chose it to give it for Spring Mysteries is Spring Mysteries for us is such a magical experience for us individually and us as a coven. The whole concept of Children of the Crossroads kind of came from the Spring Mysteries a few years back. With me, Lola, Aurora, Morgan, and our other friend Willow, kind of started with Arya, and in the process we said, okay, we wanted to branch away from the previous coven that Lola and they were associated with, and kind of do our own thing. And then on top of that, through Spring Mysteries, that's how we got this one to come join us.
That one over there.
We weren't looking for other members at this time for our coven, and this one kind of said, bullshit. I'm
sneaky.
I'm going to make my way into here because I'm awesome and you guys need me, and she was right. So this Spring Mysteries, it kind of confirmed that Islene needed to be part of it. So at the festival, they have a celebration. I don't want to give anything away, but there's a celebration that happens at the end of the festival, and everyone gets to drink beer. and we wanted to be able to be the ones to provide the beer for everyone because we bring the joy, as you guys can tell from the episodes. We like to have fun, and we like to get drunk. Don't judge us. And so she can use whatever term she wants. We don't know what we're saying. Yeah. So we decided to provide the hops this year to have them make the beer over the winter, and next spring it'll be ready for us all to enjoy.
And are we going to harvest those soon?
This weekend.
And are we able to take them to Sickle?
Yes, you're going to be taking them to Sickle with you.
So we will be bringing them to ATC Church at the Hecate Sickle Festival next month.
They'll be dried and ready for you guys to put away, and
it'll be
there should be a solid yield. If I have anything extra, it's actually going to go to Isleen's husband, and he's going to make us a hopped mead that will also be celebrated next Spring Mysteries, but that's on a much smaller scale.
He's working on a brew that I will have some with me at Sickle as well.
Yay!
He's got some that he's going to send with me.
Awesome.
So, I hope that answers your question, Dusty. At least that one.
Yeah. Thank you. And then Dusty's second question was, can we clink and drink?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah,
not.
we
can always clink and drink.
Clink and drink. Here's to you, Dusty. Thank you.
Dusty.
And I believe Dusty was the one that came up with clink and drink.
Yes, we had to give him credit for that one.
Yeah.
Well, we always did it. We never put a term to it.
We never did a term, and then he did the clink and drink, so it kind of...
And now it's a thing.
It's a thing. I think we should have T-shirts made.
Hashtag clink and drink.
Yeah. Hashtag clink and drink.
Now we need a Twitter.
I can do that.
We can make this happen.
Yeah.
Because then you just share
We do need T-shirts, though, that say clink and drink.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Seriously, that is, like, I was dreaming of that.
Anyone in our audience that likes to make T-shirts, get a hold of us.
CrossroadsCoven@gmail.com.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you. I always screw it up. All right, let's move on to our second set of questions. Lori Barbario Blackman, who I had the privilege of working with for the Global Wicca Summit. She is of the Karelian tradition. She works with Don Lewis, who is amazing. Her and I got to talk a lot about bringing the Global Wicca Summit to our online presence through the school, through the ATC. She's a huge fan of witches and wine, so she had about 5 questions. So the first one, and hi Lori.
Thank you, Lori, for all the questions. We appreciate it.
We love you. How did you come across the name Children of the Crossroads? Well, we are followers of Hecate. That's pretty much it. And we are children of Hecate, and we are children of the Crossroads.
Because we're all, no matter how old we are, we're all children to the gods.
Yes.
And we're always in their service, and so we need to honor them and pay them the respect that they're due.
And it sounded really good.
Yeah,
like we had
awesome.
other names. We were kind of, and I don't know what. I sometimes when I just lay down and think about things, and I'll have a dream and I just was like, what about Children of the Crossroads? And it just. And that's kind of what got you.
Yeah.
It was one of the big things that piqued my interest to actually pursue asking about that.
Yeah.
Because I also had Hecate as a major influence, along with... Hecate came with Hermes, so there's a lot of Crossroads stuff.
Yeah.
You're a psycho
So, yeah,
you're just a psychopath.
You know, the fun thing is I've been working with Hermes, and I haven't been hardly at home. I've been in my car a lot.
Well, that's Hermes.
So, Isleen, we show them the Children of the Crossroads tattoos and logo that we've all come up with. Mine's in a not so easy position to put.
It would like try.
So it's the triple goddess.
I can try.
And
the triple moon.
Yeah, the triple moon, triple goddess, and we actually put a T in the middle of it, so it reads
COTC.
Yeah.
And we just happened to come up with that, and it just worked beautifully with everything we already had in place. That was just an added bonus. We came up with a really sweet logo.
Sweet.
Napoleon Dynamite would approve.
You came up with. You came up with
Super
it.
Sweet.
Super sweet.
It's like a liger.
So.
A liger. It's pretty much my favorite animal.
It is. It's my favorite.
It's a magical
animal.
beast.
I used to have a liger sticker on the back of my car. Remember that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
So awesome. So Lori's second question was, does Children of the Crossroads work with a specific deity or work with many? So we answered that. We work with Hecate, and our patron god is Pan.
Horn god.
And I did it. But we work with other deities. We like mixing it up a little bit. We always try to welcome anyone in our coven who is feeling very close to a specific deity can call upon that deity. So we don't just keep it strictly to Hecate and Pan, but they are our mascots.
Yeah, they're definitely our patron deities. We have
Main
worked with
focus.
others.
Yeah. But we are welcoming of.
Yeah, we're eclectic.
We're pretty eclectic. We'll work with all different
And if you guys have a
pantheons.
suggestion of a deity that you think we may be interested in, like, we're very familiar with Dionysus and Bacchus and them, of course.
Really?
And it's where my names came from. But if you have any other deities that you think we may should look into for our interest,
Nonchalantly takes a sip.
I know,
get in touch with us at crossroadscoven@gmail.com.
or on our Facebook page. Do you prefer red or white wine?
Yes.
Yes.
We drink more reds, but we do like whites on certain times, and we really enjoy rosés.
Rosé all day.
Yeah, rosé all day. So, but yeah, as you've seen from the episodes, we drink more reds, but we are not opposed to whites in any way, shape, or form. There ain't no race thing going on with our wines. We enjoy them all.
Yes,
And
and
opportunistic wine connoisseur.
Yeah.
But weren't Isleen, weren't you more of a white wine?
Yeah, I prefer the white
But
wines,
you
but
started
I've started to appreciate reds more.
And I started out as a white wine person, but as I've grown older, I don't know.
Your taste buds change.
Well,
yeah, I'm
and you
appreciating.
get exposed to different things, and you just like different things.
I
Different palates and
enjoy
everything,
it, but there's still some white wines
yeah.
that I absolutely adore. But I prefer. We like red blends.
We like
red
cabs
blends.
and red blends,
blends are
and
like-
cabs
yeah.
are two of
Yeah,
our
cab
favorites.
savs and red blends are the big ones.
But-
I haven't had a Malbec in a long time.
We haven't had a Malbec.
That's one of my favorites. That should be something we should.
Next week we're actually have a special episode. We're going to be filming it at our pagan camp out.
Yeah.
For a bunch of pagans here in the Pacific Northwest. They're going to be joining us, Washington, Idaho.
We're going to film an episode
And
out there.
we're going to film an episode out there, so it may be hectic. We give you fair warning now.
Yeah.
But
And we might be lit by flashlights.
oh, I thought you were talking about the other lit.
By flashlights.
That kind of lit.
Lanterns.
But maybe we'll do a Malbec. That's a good idea. We haven't had a Malbec.
Malbec's good. Speaking of being lit,
Yeah.
Lori's next question is, how do you manage to do your whole show tipsy? And then she put in, by the way, you all rock it. So here's
By luck. To be perfectly honest, we're amazed that sometimes you can understand us, because
Here's the
sometimes
thing.
we have some fun before we start filming, and sometimes we wait till we're filming.
It's a blessing.
It's
from
an answer. Either
Dionysus.
we're happy either way.
and
But
this, you could take this as a positive or a negative. We've built up a tolerance to wine, so
I'm just really good at taking small sips.
she takes small sips. I have quite a high tolerance to wine. I'm not bragging, and now that I say that, that sounds very sad.
well,
but
it's not her fault.
it's not her fault.
I no, in the sense that
Is it your fault then?
it's my fault.
Whose fault is it?
For a living, and how we make ends meet is I sell wine and alcohol for a living.
Yes.
So I have a large availability of wines and spirits to us. So
Well, okay, but even before that, I've been a wine fan.
I'm trying to make it sound better.
No, but here's the thing. Even before he got a job at the wine store, okay, I love wine. And when he got the job there were so many people that were concerned. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna get so much free wine. Is that a good thing?" And
Free wine's always a good thing.
free wine's a good thing. So
Or discounted wine, or
there's only
non-discounted
been
wine.
there's only been one episode that we were a little
I don't know. We had that 3-part episode with.
okay. Well, Bella, we broke Bella. So okay, there was a couple episodes that was, and that, but they were okay. So the one when
Special
Bella was
occasions.
on, we had a lot of people here, and we had such a good time. The other one, we had been up all night, not all night, all day
barbecuing.
with for Llamas,
It was our Lama celebration.
and it was 104 degrees out. Watch that episode if you want to see us lit. It was the one on
not our
hallucinogenics.
proudest moment. If you can understand me, more power to you.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
he is very, yeah. So, we manage, and we just have fun, and we're always aware that there might be times when we're a little, like, You know, but I think we handle it really well, and we all know each other, and we're comfortable with each other, and
there is no shame with us in our group, in our
and
circle.
we don't do anything we're not like going to take our clothes off. Well, maybe.
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
That could be a future episode, but.
But
God, there's a joke I want to say right now.
You know how there's people that can handle their alcohol really well, and then there's people that don't handle their alcohol really well. We handle our alcohol really well, and I need to hear that when we're done. Okay. And oh God. Okay, so number 5 question from Lori: do you ever have people complaining about or trying to get you to stop drinking? If
only
so,
our children.
How do you handle them? We ground them. No, we pour more wine down the person's throat. Actually, we've never really had any guests because it's called Witches and Wine, and if they've watched our show, they know that there's going to be a lot of clinking and drinking. So, I mean, you know.
That was really cool. That was a great clink and drink.
Yeah, echo.
It was awesome. So, you know, I'm sure there might be someone out there that watches this and goes, these guys are just ridiculous. Then don't watch it. That's what I got to say about the whole thing.
If you're a chemical dependency counselor, probably don't watch us.
Because we might allow you
we could be a good...
Yeah, we could be a good test study for you to use.
A cautionary tale.
Yeah.
I've always been a cautionary tale.
And we have some Coven members that aren't big drinkers, and we're breaking them of that, where we catch them drinking more and more each time they're with us.
Okay, so when I was in People of the Woods, we drank a lot of wine. And I was very, very happy about that because I like wine. And I was hanging out with some fellow Coven members, and they thought that the old Coven that I was in drank a lot of wine, and they started hanging out with us personally, and they said, we have never drank so much wine until we met us. And I don't know if that was a compliment or, but I take it as a compliment because...
We consider ourselves professionals.
Hail Dionysus.
Hail Dionysus.
Right? Come on.
Hail Silenus for teaching Dionysus.
I know. You want to top that off a little bit?
Yep.
Wow, listen to that clinking and drinking. Thank you, honey.
I'll give you the rest of this bottle.
So, our next person that was asking questions is Heather Miller Wisdom, and I believe she posted. Just see, hi.
Bring a drink.
She posted these on. God, I can't remember. Might have been Pagan Information Network. It was one of the other websites I posted. Please ask questions.
We reached out to the community in general.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you want to get a hold of us, we both told you the email address. Please do, because we would love to reach out and talk to other pagans.
And have guests.
We can do over Skype or over the phone.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm not technically
We're not
savvy.
technically savvy, but...
we know people who are.
But we can figure things out
we'll
and
figure
get
it
it posted,
out.
so
we
please
can do
reach out
a
to
Skype
us.
split screen.
We have access
Lori,
to Google that
I'm speaking to
answers
you
all
directly.
the questions.
We want you and some of the Corellians.
Yeah, you guys, like Lori
Please.
and Dawn and whoever else, that would be really awesome.
Yeah.
So Heather Miller Wisdom, her first question was, how did you know Hecate was calling you? What signs did you get? So, for me, I think Hecate's just been calling me my whole life, and I found her. I don't know, I just, when I found her, I went, oh, like, okay, that's so me. Like, I know she's a very serious, dark goddess, and I'm a very, like, happy person, but if you really know me, and I've said this before, there's a very dark part of me that is, that I...
She carries the balance, and she just doesn't necessarily show it all the time.
Yeah. I'm very jovial and happy, but there's a side of me that's very dark and enjoys dark things and enjoys that kind of frightening shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
I dig that shit. Like, I love that. When I came across Hecate, I know most people say the goddess finds you, but I found her and it just was like finding a long lost friend. And the signs were mostly just, I dreamt about her more. I've been dreaming about her a long time. It just made sense. It's like finding the one, it's like finding your soulmate.
For you, Aislinn, because you two are both priestesses of Hecate, and I will let you two speak. I'm a priest of Pan, but I work with Hecate, and I'll explain my feelings and my connection with her after Aislinn does.
I resisted for a long time.
How come?
There were signs. It was the dark and serious, and the you don't go approach her unless you are willing to like put in the work, which was in hindsight very ridiculous because I was totally willing to put in the work. I was willing to do whatever it took, but it was kind of scary. I mean, it's shadowy, it's dark, it's mysterious, so it's scary. And then there were multiple signs kind of leading towards it. And as strange as this may sound, actually one of my dogs went missing. She claimed one of my dogs.
That wasn't your hound, that was hers.
That was hers.
She does that, yeah.
So that kind of like opened my eyes into the, okay, I hear you. I'm finally going to acknowledge and accept this.
So you weren't going to be stubborn anymore?
Yeah, I wasn't going to be stubborn anymore. I was very stubborn about it because
that surprises me from you.
Does it really?
Not in the least bit.
I can't follow.
Not.
Next,
So-
you're gonna say I listen to dirty music or something.
Oh, God, this dirty birdie over here. You think we're dirty?
Yeah.
It's the quiet ones. They're the dirtiest.
Yeah, it's the quiet, reserved one. She ain't reserved or quiet. I can attest. I know these things. She prevents it all the time.
Yeah. So how did you, Hecate, what's your...
So for me, I was drawn to Hecate through you because why me and you, one of the things that drew us together is the fact that we've always enjoyed the dark and the light. We have never shied
really
away.
like the dark a lot.
We've never shied away from it.
We're witches.
But-
I mean,
But you know, we're not like, you know,
We're not always like, I'm so
You know,
gothy and
yeah.
dark.
I
but
can
we're
enjoy
not,
things
but we're
because
not like,
that's fun.
everything is so
But
pretty. And, you know, we gotta have that.
we've always searched for the balance.
Yeah.
We just didn't realize there was a deity associated with it. At least it wasn't for me. And then when you started working with her, I started feeling her presence around here and knowing that I could actually put a name to that feeling I'd always felt.
We had a corner in our room before we spread it out more. Yeah. We had a section over here that was more Hecate, and it was right above the chair that you were sitting in.
My chair.
And there, you felt the energy sitting with her.
And what really sealed it for me is we do meditations pretty regularly. At least we used to. We've been a lot busier, so we haven't done them as often as we should, but we need to meditate more. But during one of our meditations, I actually got to see the face of Hecate in it, and it wasn't presented in any other form, and it wasn't candy coated. It was the pure form of Hecate, and it was such a beautiful conversation and experience I got to have with her. And I said, okay, you are someone that I need to work with and I need to learn more about. And between these two and our Coven, I've been able to learn more from her, and I definitely see that why she is the goddess of witches, and that she needs to be honored and respected, and she is our godmother and grandmother for everyone.
She is amazing.
Yep.
We love her.
Yep.
We love her. And then Heather Miller Wisdom asked, can you speak of your experiences with Hecate? We kind of covered that. I mean, our experiences with her have been, for me, and I'm pretty sure you guys would agree too, that I feel like there's safety in the darkness with her. I feel her arms around me. I feel when it's so... Because we've all experienced those dark moments where you just feel lost. And to have Hecate...
be your torchbearer in that darkness.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful.
She's not always dark.
She's not always dark.
She is the
She's
light bearer.
everything.
She is the
She's
light bearer,
everything,
and she is a torchbearer. And she will bring the light when you need it, but she will also cast you in the darkness when you need it.
Make you see the shadows you don't necessarily want to see.
She's not always fun, but it's necessary.
It's so necessary.
Yeah.
And those are the things that are important. Those are the things that make us grow. Because if we didn't have those hardships and those dark times, we wouldn't be able to be who we are, and life would be kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Heather Miller Wisdom, for asking those awesome questions. And if you ever have any more questions, you can message me.
Or if you want to be a guest.
Or if you want to be a guest. Or
contact us.
Yes. And also, we do talk about our patron god and goddess on one of the episodes. We talk about Hecate and Pan.
Yeah.
And there's more in-depth detail about our experiences.
And we'll swing back because we love our deities and we always want to honor them. So we'll swing back to them in a future episode at some point.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So the lovely Lady Belladonna Laveau.
Who we broke.
Who's that?
Who we broke.
We broke Bella.
Witches and wine, clink and drink.
Clink and drink. We broke Lady Bella.
We're proud of it.
We're kind of proud of it.
Because to say you broke the archpriestess of a church, of the enjoyment,
ATC,
of
yeah.
the ATC,
And we broke her.
Yeah.
She had a great time.
And she loves us for every second of it. So thank you, Bella, for sending these questions in. We appreciate it.
So Bella asked, what happened where you knew you just... hi, Clink and drink.
Did you have a little too much?
What happened where you knew you had just experienced Goddess? I really like this question because for me, I think we'll all say this at one point. We've always experienced Goddess, but when I really knew was that time when Sheena was with us.
Drawing down the moon.
I drew down the moon, and
that story went to my head too. That was the first thing I knew.
didn't even know I was drawing down the moon, and we had a very ritualistic, almost orgy, but not really. Kissing each other, loving.
But there was no lines crossed. There was
no lines crossed. Not orgy, but it was love fest. Yeah. It was. We danced under the moon.
We gave ourselves to the Goddess, but still be respectful of each other.
I have no shoes on.
You never have shoes
Lola
on.
have? We have no shoes on. There are 3 people in a room with no shoes.
What does that mean?
We are in an orgy right now.
Oh yes.
Yeah. 3 people in a room with no shoes.
So it wasn't.
Jealous.
I don't mean orgy like like we all saw naughty bits, but we exchanged kisses and it was very sensual and it was very primal and it was
intimate and loving, but not gross
and
not.
I spoke. I wasn't me. I was speaking the Goddess, and I had said
Lola
things.
lit up as the moon. It was a full moon that night when we were.
I think it was a super moon. It was a super moon. It was a super moon.
We were in our backyard.
This was a while ago.
This was a couple years back, like 5 years ago.
Oh God, more than that.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
And Lola had just started in the craft, and without realizing what she was doing, because she was still such a neophyte to the.
No, I wasn't just starting in the. I was just starting as Wiccan.
Okay, well...
that is...
It's kind of an important distinction, really.
Yeah, because I've been doing this for a while, but I was identifying as Wiccan.
When she was acknowledging everything.
I was acknowledging... When I had a label and I knew what I was going to do, yes.
But was still learning the restraints that need to be learned, and she literally drew down the moon, and she was a shining beacon of the moon. She was glowing light.
Yeah, it was...
She lit up our backyard where the 2 of us and our friend Sheena could literally walk around in the dark and see everything, and it was. And I was able to, and I don't want to give too much information away about this person, but I was able to talk to her without knowing that she was in a place that was very dark. I did not know this. She never told me. She told you, but she never told me that she was in a spot that was very dark, and the Goddess told her how important she was. And she needed to hear that, and I was channeling the Goddess, and the next day I realized what had happened, and I went, oh, that's what that is. Yeah. Like while we were experiencing it, we weren't aware, but I wasn't aware. When we looked back the next day and we spoke, and it was an incredible feeling. Oh yeah, it was. I would not have changed a single thing that happened that night. Yeah, I mean, and that's not being in a weird way. It was such a beautiful experience that we all got to enjoy. And it was the Kickstarter for me realizing that calling myself Wiccan and labeling myself doing goddess worship, because I was really into the whole, I'm a goddess worshiper. I mean, I identified with the god, but it was all about the goddess.
I think a lot of women do that.
Yes.
First.
Yeah.
Especially. So
how about you? Because you've been doing this a lot longer. So she's an old hat in this endeavor.
One of the big ones that sticks out for me was a time that I had evoked, not invoked, but I'd evoked the goddess. I was doing a little ritual in my room. This was when I was a teenager, 15, maybe 16. I don't remember, but I had evoked and I was sitting with my arms out like this, and I literally felt someone grab my arms.
Oh.
and I was alone in the room.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing, and I just reveled in that
Were
moment.
you scared at first?
No,
Goosebumps.
no, it wasn't scary at
Okay.
all. It was
I
really
just got
calm and really
goosebumps.
comforting, and just like, because I felt just the right on top of my like grab where it was like this, right? It was amazing. That's one that really sticks out for me. There's a couple of others as well. Like I remember when I had done a little bit of a, for layman's terms, I guess, like wickening for my daughter, which is never. It's not like the christening. You're not like agreeing to raise them in that faith.
No.
It's just presenting the child to the gods.
To the gods.
Is
Yep.
this the oldest one or the
Yes,
youngest one? Okay.
it's the oldest.
Yeah.
It's Realm. My oldest is now 17. And
awesome.
Realm's awesome.
she was itty bitty, like, you know,
Baby.
yeah, I knew that the goddess was there, the god as well, but they were there for that. But the biggest one that always will stick out, I think that's because that was the first,
Yeah.
like, one that really,
Well, that's how it was when she drew down the moon. It
That was my first time of knowing, like, acknowledging that, oh, there's something else
And-
happening.
Yeah.
And it was the first
Because
time I saw
what-
deity shine through her.
And because there's been times in my life before when that's happened, but there was just something about this time.
and
that
we've
was-
talked about a little bit, like, when it came to invoking, where it was like, oh, that's what this is. Okay, at least I know what to call it now.
Exactly. Well, and I had a lot of experience with times in my life where I was in altered states, and there was a lot of deity being around and in and about, but I didn't know that's what you called it. I
There's
was
a label for
very, very new to the terminology. I didn't know all the terminology. I just knew witch, and I knew
I spilled wine on this, sorry.
spirit. Oh, you poopy butt.
It's not the
It
first time we
happens.
spilled
We
wine on us.
spill wine.
Clink a drink.
Clink and drink.
Now you have to chug it. You gotta lick it off.
That's later.
Yeah. Oh. All right. So the next question is from. And then Bella's next question is, why are you so much fun?
Duh, just look at us.
Clink and drink.
Have you seen us?
Because we're awesome.
Yep. Because we know that
We have
life.
great ideas.
We know life is to be enjoyed and not get bogged down in the minutia, in the misery of it. I'm sorry, sweetie.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, we don't get bogged down. I mean, we experience life and we have our ups and downs just like everyone else. But we celebrate our ups and try to make as many of them as we can.
And I just love fun. I mean, our coven is so. Here's the thing: is we can be very serious when there's a time and a place.
Which most of you haven't seen because you've been watching this on YouTube. You're getting the Cliff Notes version, which is all fun all the time.
With the purple teeth. So,
It's witches of wine.
but we're fun because it's just, if you can make people laugh and have a good time, then to me, if you really want, I mean, I could just simplify it. That's why I'm fun. I could be anonymous
If
and
not
simplify
for
it.
fun, what point is
Yeah.
life?
Yes.
If you can't stop for a moment and laugh, then you're missing out on life, and you need to really reevaluate where you're at.
We're fun because we can be. And I suggest more people have fun.
Yep.
All right, so the next question is from Rick Chowder. He was a guest on our Witches and Wine a few weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, he did
2 or 3 episodes ago.
he's from Squirrely Productions. Wow, I've had a lot of wine. This is one of those moments. I'm excited. 20th episode.
Yep.
Woohoo!
Celebration. We celebrate.
We are very celebrating. Oh my God.
We
So.
English speak good. We do.
I
So-
speak good English.
So, Rick asked, are you Wicca or polytheist, and is there even a difference anymore? Now,
We're going to address this in a future episode. This is a much
is a
longer
This is a
whole-
conversation.
question that can make its own video.
And Rick,
Absolutely.
if you want to come join us, you'd be welcome to for
Rick,
this.
be a guest.
Yep.
Be our guest. Be our
We
guest.
would love to have
My
this
answer
conversation with
is
you.
sort of like yes.
Yes. Are you Wicca?
Or
Wicca or
polytheist.
polytheist? Yes.
And is there a difference anymore? Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes
Just
and
yes.
yes.
It's
Just
like
yes.
It's like our wine preferences. Yes.
Yes. Do you like wine? Yes. What kinds?
Yes. Yep.
But Rick, that's a great question, and we were talking about it beforehand, and we realized that's a whole episode.
Yeah, we can't do that in the time frame we have here. So that'll be a future episode, and we would love for you to join us.
Yeah.
If not, then we can have it on our own. Then you can comment later about it.
The next question is from a friend of ours named Chris Bays. Chris Bays.
Thank you, Chris, for sending this.
Thank you. And Chris is the one that got me to, she didn't get me to, but Danielle and I went to her birthday party last Saturday. Rocky Horror Picture Show. And can I just say, Chris, if you're watching this, thank you so much for letting me tag along, because I needed a night out. I was stressed out. I had been doing a lot. And I don't get out that much, and it was fun to dress up. And just,
I, of course, wish I would have been more daring, but that's what always happens when you go to Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You see everyone with their asses hanging out.
Yeah, and then you're like, I could have done that.
Yeah. Whatever. Listen to him, martyr. I stayed home and took care of the kids.
Oh, we appreciate it.
We love that you let us, you allowed us to go out.
I permitted it.
Yes. So Chris's question is, what are some benefits of being in a coven over practicing alone? So basically, coven versus solitary.
With solitary, you're working with, you're in control. With the coven, you get to experience the energies of others and be there to help them when they're in need, and then have them be there for you when you're in need.
Also, there's an element of accountability, because when you're solitary, it is very easy to fall into the, I can celebrate that Sabbath tomorrow. I'll have more time tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow rolls around, and it was like, it was a rough day. The next day. We'll worry about it the next day. But if you're in a coven, in a group, not even a coven, in a group.
In a group, even.
In a group, you have some accountability that comes along with that. Because you've got other people that are going to be showing up to whatever event. So you either show up or you don't.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you don't get anything out of it. So there's that.
And there's also just the group dynamic of being able to have, because a coven really is, at least our coven is, and I know from other experiences, is your brothers and sisters in the craft.
Family.
It's your chosen family, and that's so awesome to have in this religion, because this religion, even though we're working on trying to get it to be very socially accepted, it is what it is at this point, and it's still seen as something as outcasts, and so when you find a group of outcasts that you can practice,
you get to let your freak flag fly.
Yes. Yeah.
Your outcast becomes an incast.
Yeah, and then you worship together, and you experience magic together, and we're right here, right here. There's three of us here, you get that.
And you get the experience of the energy and the power that each person brings, because it's something different.
We learn from each other.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a beautiful experience, because there's things I get out of our coven mates, that each person has something different to offer, and it's something that's necessary, and it's beautiful.
And you have a little bit of backup when you have an experience within the circle. You've got other people that experienced at least a similar thing. It's never exactly the same, because your experience is yours uniquely. That's why I say a coven is made up of solitaries.
Oh yeah.
But you can kind of sit there and chat with someone and be like, when this part happened, and they're like, oh yeah, that was a really powerful part, and you have something to kind of be a sounding board and get some feedback on that, where you're not just like, did I make that up? Because I know as a solitary, that was like, did I really feel that? Or was that actually what happened? Does the circle really feel that way, or is that just me?
And I'd be most interested to hear your experience, because you were solitary for so long in the coven, where
because as a solitary, I was technically a solitary, but I didn't practice circle casting or anything. I just gathered with a group of women and gay men, and no, really, and we celebrated nature, but I never casted. I didn't know ritual until I joined a coven. So, how your experience with casting circle and doing that, and it's
you feel like you're doing it wrong. I always felt like I was doing it wrong. And then you go out in a group, and it doesn't even have to be a coven. It can be just a group setting. My experience was going out to a public pagan group at the time and seeing how they cast a circle and how they did quarter calls. And you're like, oh, this is right.
Yeah.
I was right.
But it's
Okay,
but being alone versus being with a group of people is the energy more.
It's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
It's neither less than or greater than.
It's just different. Yeah. Awesome. And okay, thank you so much. That was the last
that was Chris.
of Chris. Thank you, Chris, for asking that question. Our next person that asked us question is the lovely Brenda Grace.
Oh, the beautiful Brenda Grace.
We love
Brenda.
Grace. Brenda Grace.
I'm sorry, I
Brenda
can't see you at,
Grace.
at Hecate, but I'll see you at Spring
He'll
Mysteries
see
next
you
year,
at
honey.
Spring Mysteries, yes. Mwah. Brenna asked, what did you do as a kid, or what did you do as kids that you now look back on and think, no wonder I'm a witch? I love that question. I will tell you mine. Mine was in my parents' backyard, chasing fairies. I thought they were fairies. They were fairies. And I saw what people would think are fireflies, but we are in Washington State.
Oh, yeah, we
Ain't
don't
no
have
fireflies
fireflies up
over
here.
here.
We don't have fireflies. I was very little,
They're
and
fairies.
I saw fairies, and I wrote stories about them. I looked for what I thought was the queen of the fairies. Like, I was probably 8 years old, and I would tell my mom, and my mom's like, that sounds like fireflies, and she'd have to ask my dad, honey, we don't have fireflies in Spokane, Washington, do we? And my dad's like, no, let me watch my Hee-Haw. Hee-Haw was the show that they watched back in the day.
You just dated yourself.
I'm 46 and I'm proud. So, yeah, I chased fairies and I talked to them and I tried to catch them, and my parents' backyard, as Christian as they were, was the most magical place, and I don't know if it was magical because it was supposed to be or it was magical because I made it magical, but either way,
Yes.
I had experiences that I knew that were amazing, and I just remember magic in my life, and I remember chasing fairies. I remember all that stuff, and that was I don't know if that made me look back and go, no wonder I'm a witch, but it sure influenced who I am. Do you guys remember things you did that were witchy in your
I'll
childhood?
let you go first.
My great-grandmother dabbled. And this would have been back in the day when, like, it would have been really hard to find, because this would have been 60s or 70s. But I have some of her stuff that proves that she dabbled.
Yeah.
And I know that she dabbled. She turned away from it, but that was kind of something I was always exposed to in a hush-hush manner.
Yeah.
My great-grandfather was an herbalist, so he was always talking about different herbs and different things like that. We had biorhythms that they did in our house. Like, none of this is exactly witchy related, but it's kind of
still
witchy
adjacent.
adjacent.
Yep.
Witchy
So-
adjacent. I like that.
We had my grandmother on my mom's side was very into fairies, still is. She's kind of moved more towards angels just because of the deaths in the family, but it's still winged creatures that she likes to collect. So we chased fairies. My cousins and I chased fairies. We would sit there and we would like stand at something and we would try and move it telepathically with our mind, like whatever item it was. Be like, look, that little ribbon, it moved, and it was totally our mind that did it. It wasn't anything else. I played around with Ouija boards before I even knew all of the stuff with Ouija boards. I literally made them on pieces of paper. There was a lot of witchy running through. I mean, but then when you go with the backstory with my great grandmother dabbling, like there's
The seeds were planted earlier.
yeah. The seeds were there.
Yeah.
And I had, I'm sorry, I just have to add this. You guys are going to laugh, but this was a huge part of my life. I was about 8 or 9 with the fairies and stuff. and the movie Xanadu came out, and it's one of my favorite movies, and it is disco.
She still plays the Xanadu soundtrack very regularly on our car rides.
Because it's awesome. So
A roller skating muses are all about it.
roller skating, disco, and muses. Hello, right?
Yeah. And I was always attracted to anything.
And that was my movie. That was my movie that influenced me as a child. And I was so drawn to it, and I used to perform it in the backyard for my dog. We had a St. Bernard dog named Brandy, and that was my audience. There's the whole animism and nature and stuff. And Brandy was my magical dog, and I would perform, and I was this muse. I was Olivia Newton-John, and I would stand on the picnic table, and I was that person, and I believed it. It wasn't just, I'm a fan, I'm going to do it. No, I believed it. So that was a huge influence. And I look back, that's still an influence in me, of me today, and it's huge. So
Yeah, I had some major conflicts when I was going to a Lutheran private school and then going to a UU church and then having these,
oh yeah,
things ended.
oh, I bet.
I'll skip this question just for the time's sake. We can just move on.
Okay,
Yeah, I've answered enough of them.
all right.
I mean, for me, I guess if you want a little bit, I've always enjoyed being out in nature, and I've lived as Pan my whole life.
Yes,
So it's a really quick and easy.
he's our Pan.
He's getting
He's our
it
Pan.
whether
He's
you want it or not.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you were like, I'm not going to answer this. Let me answer it real quick.
Well, cause I don't want someone to come back and say, well, what is he going to want to answer, kind of thing.
We're just
Yeah.
looking at time.
Yeah.
So, why did you start Witches and
Because
Wine?
we like to talk about witchy stuff, and we like to drink wine.
Yeah. Well, can I
and
tell?
it was a great YouTube series.
We wanted to put the fly on the wall kind of thing when we drink wine as a coven and we talk about witchy stuff. I was like, we need to film this, and we had other influences. For me, I was watching comedians in cars, drinking coffee with
Thank
Jerry
you, Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld, where he would just have this very casual setting of talking to comedians about their craft in comedy, and it was really cool. And then also the Pew, which a lot of you, it's a whole rave culture thing. Michael Alec, party club kids, yeah, him, and it's a long story, but they do a thing where they talk. They're just very, very casual, and
We
they
like
talk
Michael
about
Alec
whatever.
and Ernie both. Ernie Glam. We
Yeah,
like you both,
Michael
guys.
Alec and Ernie Glam
Thank
kind
you
of
for being kind of
influenced.
inspirational.
They were a little inspirational. So those were our inspirations for Witches and Wine.
And then the rest of the company just kind of came along with us.
Yeah, we just. I was like, let's do this, and they're like,
They were
yeah.
we have a term called voluntold,
Yeah.
and that's what they were.
Well, it wasn't necessary. I'm already on YouTube. I just don't have a very active YouTube channel
Yeah,
because I've been doing other things. But I do have a YouTube channel myself.
Yeah.
So me, it wasn't.
it was like, oh
okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Let's do this.
Yeah. And then Brenna's third question was, what's your favorite wine?
Wine. For me, I like Cab Francs. They're my personal favorite. I like the big boldness, the earthiness, and the nice dry finish that they always carry with them. But Cab Francs are really expensive in general, so that's a rare treat.
I like red blends, and I like Cab Savs, and in whites, I like a really good Moscato, and I like a Gewürztraminer.
Gewürztraminer.
I'll always love Gewürztraminer.
I love to say Gewürztraminer.
Gewürztraminer. Do you have any favorites you want to?
Moscato is one of my favorites. I've grown to love the red blends.
The red blends.
So I think that, and then anything sort of fruity. I recently had a huckleberry. I like the different stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a white, which aren't my favorite, but I do drink them, I like a nice New Zealand Sauv Blanc as well. I like the big grapefruit and gooseberry flavors that come out.
Thank you, Brenna Grace, for
Thank
asking
you.
those questions.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah. And then our Coven member who was going to be here, but she had something come up, Morrigan Ravencrow, had a bunch of questions. Which deity did you like working with the most and least, and why?
For me, the most Pan.
Because
if
you're
anyone
Pan.
knows me, that I am a
He's Pan.
human representation of Pan.
Oh my gosh.
Fun, joy, let's have fun, fuck rules. I just want to enjoy it, and if you tell me I can't do it, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyways. The ones I have not liked working with, I can't say any that I have not liked working with, but there are some that have been harder to work with. I can see myself, if I ever work with Hades, having a real struggle because just too dour for my personality.
Very emo.
Yeah. I'm not at my risk score.
But we love you, Hades.
Yeah, but
You're
Hades,
necessary.
Yeah, we love you. You're necessary.
You're
we respect you. Just don't hate.
Yeah. Well, how about you? Is there...
I really enjoyed working with Freya. That was a real surprise for me because my husband is more Norsey. I am not really of that persuasion. I've always leaned more towards Celtic, and then it kind of came as I don't want to say grudgingly, but like it was a surprise when I turned more towards the Grecian stuff, which kind of came around with Hecate, although she is pre-Greek, but that is neither here nor there. And as far as least, I have still not come around to where I'm to a decent point with Zeus. I've not necessarily sought out to work with him, but I'm still like, he'll kind of reach out now and then, and I'm like,
is it the all present, or is it the highfalutin?
It is the highfalutin. Why the hell do you keep hurting Harris' goddamn feelings?
Okay. Because Zeus, there's two aspects of Zeus you got to deal with, and I was curious which of the two.
I can deal, and I think that's part of it too, is that he is the All-Father, along with like Odin is the All-Father. But like, I have personal issues that come with the paternal aspect.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I have a hard time.
There's a little bit of patriarchy.
And as a female, I can understand why you come from that aspect. That's why I was curious as to which one of the two.
Yeah.
Now for you, what about you?
I haven't had any bad experiences. I'm going to set Hecate aside because that's the obvious. Yeah. But I really liked Persephone.
Well,
I really liked Persephone.
Hey, wow, you like working with the goddess in the underworld?
I really like
Hecate and Persephone. Wow,
I know.
I could never imagine those two going together.
That's
for
weird.
A priestess of a week.
Darkness and brooding.
Yeah, I enjoyed Persephone. I get her.
What was maybe harder for you to work with? Maybe you didn't maybe dislike it, but it was hard for you because you worked with quite a few deities through your schooling and so forth.
Sekhmet.
Okay.
Was an eye-opener. I worked with her for a while through school, and I had trouble with her very warlike, nature. I don't. You know me. I don't do words. I do sounds. And Sekhmet was like, bah,
I also remember Aries was hard for you because it brought out the worry that you didn't want to bring out in you.
Aries was hard because I don't feel that I'm a fighter. But I learned that we all have that warrior in us. So Aries was a little difficult. It's the fighter ones, the
So the fighters.
They're
fighter required for certain situations, though.
And
it's difficult when you're not in that situation. To tap into that.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's just who I am. So that fighter mode is difficult. So, all right. Morgan asks, what is your favorite tool to work with?
I can't say that on camera.
Well,
she said tool.
Could.
I like
I'm not going to say it on camera.
I like working with my husband's tool. What's our time?
We're at 54 minutes.
All right, let's move. Outside versus inside ritual. Outside ritual. I love outside.
I understand the value of. We live in the north, so inside ritual is necessary.
We have to do inside with our weather.
Wintertime is not fun.
But when we can go outside, it's so... especially because we work with Pan. Yeah. So
he likes the outside.
I
know, it's
and
a
we
big
leave our
shocker.
backyards pretty wild. So we're able to let Pan run free. It's not manicured.
And we get to do both, and then it's dark and it's Hecate. Yeah. So we have a good time in our backyard. So I'm hurrying through this. I'm sorry. And what do you enjoy about doing ritual?
Being in circle with all my coven mates and feeling the energy that we all provide.
I like the, what's the word?
I always like the liminal spaces.
Yeah.
The between spaces.
Yes.
Yeah. When you're in the precipice of doing the next step, but you've finished one and you're in that in-between space, and you just have a moment with you and deity, or you and the elemental, or the watchtower guardian, whatever. It's always, for me, the in-between, the liminal areas. Hence, Hecate and Hermes.
Yeah. I like when we are right in the presence, like the eye of the storm of it, and I'll kind of look around, and I guess it's the same thing, and everything looks different.
It just looks different.
It just looks different, and it's very like we're really doing this, and where you realize that we've created that tween space, we've created that yeah, that's my favorite. Yeah. Do you believe in being open about being a witch?
Yes, but I also respect that other people may not be comfortable with that. So while I don't hide it, I don't flaunt it.
Yeah.
Same here.
Same here.
Yep.
I had a major concern with my kids because I didn't want my decisions to necessarily reflect on them.
And we have that.
Same here.
We have the same.
A lot of it is dictated by our children.
Yep.
And yeah. Watch out.
Apparently, I'm out. I didn't realize this, but apparently I'm out. So.
Well, like I said, we don't hide it. 'Cause, I mean, heck, we have Coven tattoos of the triple moon on us. That we don't hide it, but at the same time, we don't necessarily just throw it in your face and do that. If respect me because I'm a witch.
But if somebody asks, we'll be honest with them. But we don't flaunt it. So.
But at the same time, I don't necessarily hide per se a pentacle that I'm wearing.
Me neither. Yeah.
I might have it a little bit more discreet and wear it under my shirt or something else of that effect. But
we live in a more conservative area, and it really depends. He's got his pan necklace.
I have a pan necklace. I wear it on me all times, but at work and so forth, I will hide it just out of respect of others.
Yeah.
Yep.
But nobody would know what that is. That's the thing. I think the pentacle.
Well, the
pentagram is very much more like.
It's the same.
This is who I am.
It's the same where we put our tattoos. I put mine on my bicep for our Coven, and that's because
Because he wanted everyone to look at his bicep.
Yeah, I flex. No, it's because I have to cut it from work.
Where's the Coven circle? That way.
Yeah, I'm looking that way for it. You can't see it behind Lola's head, but I'm doing the flex pose.
That way. Oh God, my wings. Oops,
You're fine.
Did we spill again?
No.
Okay. What's the most fun about being a witch?
Playing with other witches.
This stuff. This.
That's not fun. That would be a shorter list.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
pretty much everything is amazing about being a witch.
It's really fun.
Life is fun. We're able to enjoy what we're offered, and we're able to see the goddess everywhere she is.
And it is. It's a religion about fertility and nature. I mean, what's not fun about that?
I would say if we connect it with the not fun and connect it with the previous question, it's the secrecy. That's the not fun part. The feeling like you have to hide things, even though it's a recognized religion.
Scoot in a little more. You're like cut off.
I'm not. I'm in
Get in here, honey. Let's get friendly. Derek, don't hate me.
Oh,
I'm joking, buddy. I know
like,
we're good.
it's on camera. That's
That's what happens after the camera stops. I'm more concerned with.
But anyway, so that was our 23 questions. Thank you everybody who asked those awesome questions, and thank you for watching our 20th episode. We're really excited. Yep. Again, next week we will be filming on location at our pagan campout. So there's gonna who knows?
Yeah.
Like seriously,
we have no idea.
There's
what's
no electricity out there, so I don't know if we're gonna use phone flashlights, regular flashlights, lanterns. Fire, because we're going to have a fire pit.
Yeah.
We might just
You might just be dealing with really crappy lighting.
We might just have,
the disembodied voice.
It might be all audio, very, very, very little
video. Who knows, but we're
excited.
excited.
You'll just have to know that we're drinking from
We're drinking wine,
sound.
and we're clean. Yeah, you'll hear this. And
all right, guys, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, and remember, always walk with the goddess, be kind to one another, and until next time, blessed be. Bye!
Bye, guys.